I really like bad movies. If you're like me and you really love bad movies, you'll know about Tubi. It's a free streaming service where you can basically just watch the worst that cinema has to offer. Although I think I stumbled upon a cinematic masterpiece yesterday. It's a 2002 horror film called Fungicide from the director of Suburban Sasquatch, just to show you what level of quality we're working with. It's a self-proclaimed Z movie. Now, you may have heard of A movies. They're like the blockbusters, Jurassic Park, Avengers, whatever. You may have even heard of B movies. They're like, your Sharknadoes, your rip-offs, all those. Z movies is where it's at, though. They're made on pennies, basically, and are usually purposefully bad to be entertaining. This might sound very stupid, and it is. Now, getting back on topic, the plot for Fungicide is what happens when a crazed scientist inadvertently unleashes his experiment on the inhabitants of a remote cabin resort. Well, it's death, chaos, and mushrooms. And I think that perfectly describes the cinematic masterpiece. Now, the real plot is basically just a bunch of random characters such as a military general, a scientist, the owners of a bed and breakfast sort of place, and a group of friends who are very addicted to beer. They unwind at this bed and breakfast, but unbeknownst to them, the scientist has accidentally dropped his scientific experiment on the grounds, and now giant, sometimes not so giant, evil killer mushrooms, which are portrayed by puppets, people in suits, or sometimes the worst CGI, and sometimes all three of these are in the same shot, by the way, mushrooms. And they have to just survive. And, it's phenomenal. There are so many choices in this movie that make me question how someone could craft something this perfect. There's CGI landscapes used instead of actually showing the landscape, and it looks like something out of Super Mario 64. And honestly, I really like the vibe that they're going for there, although I don't know if it was entirely on purpose. And there's also a character who takes pills to stop himself from, quote, spontaneously combusting, end quote. I don't think that's a real medical condition, but we're gonna roll with it. Now, I've seen many a type of these movies, and usually they try way too hard to be like, look guys, we're a bad movie, we're funny, right? Please laugh. But this one, it takes itself seriously, but also really doesn't. How do I explain this? The tone of the movie is like it's serious, but everything happening in it is everything but. And that is the perfect balance, which is way better than most of the other ones, which are just like, the tone is funny, and everything else that are happening around it is also funny. There's usually just like nothing happening, and most of them it's just characters talking and trying to be funny, but in this one, they are. So yeah, it's a cinematic masterpiece. What else can I say? There's like a 10-minute sequence where they're all kung fu fighting these giant mushroom people, or puppets, or CGI. They even throw bombs at them and they explode. I don't know, it's a cinematic masterpiece. And honestly, this movie has prompted me to check out more of Tubi and more of these just absurd, like, SOV, zero budget Z movie, whatever. I need to check out more of this, and Suburban Sasquatch. Yeah. Usually, when I look at reviews for movies like these, they're always just like 1 star saying like, why did I watch this? But with Fungicide, I'm actually kind of shocked to see that everyone on Letterboxd is saying it's like a 9, 8, 10 out of 10. And I couldn't agree more. It looks like Fungicide appeals to everyone, even non-Z movie enjoyers, like myself, which I'm gonna have to check more out of, because this was amazing. There's just something about the DIY feel of everything. Like, the CGI landscapes and mushrooms, the puppets, the humans in costumes. It's also... It just has a vibe that I just absolutely love, and cannot find captured in a lot of real movies. So when I watched this, I was like, huh, this is exactly what I wanted. Although, unfortunately, this movie isn't very popular. as you can see from the footage being either stripped straight from Tubi or the trailer, which looks like an analog horror. That's the best quality I could find. So yeah, I definitely want you to check out Fungicide. Yes, you, the viewer, because this is phenomenal. Now that you know the quote-unquote plot and the reception and my thoughts, I thought I'd look at the behind-the-scenes production history to see if I could find anything. And there's some interesting things. So it was made and directed by, I'm definitely going to mispronounce this, Dave Wascavage. Whoopsies. And it was made under the indie label Troubled Moon Films, which reminds me of Full Moon Features, which is like this B-movie studio that made all the Puppet Master movies, I don't know. And apparently the movie only had a budget of $142 US, including food for the whole cast. It was filmed on an 8mm Sony camcorder, which was apparently dropped quite a few times, and the entire movie was filmed over one weekend in Pennsylvania on like a forest and some paths, and some of the house shots were filmed in Westchester, which I have no clue where that is, but also some of the cast is just the director's family and friends, which makes a lot of sense. Apparently, the director, who I'm guessing did the CGI as well, only learned to do CGI the day before, which is why it looks so good. Now, those are just some random things I found on it. There obviously is not a lot that I could find on the 2002 movie Fungicide, but because of how much I love this, I just want to see what else I could find out there. But yeah, that's my review and everything I could find on Fungicide. I wanted this to be sort of just like a way for more people to learn about this movie, because there's not a lot of people, but I don't know, I just made this for fun, just a passion project, because this was just an incredibly good movie, and like, I was thoroughly entertained while watching the entire thing. Now, it has everything I could want in a bad movie. I've seen hundreds of them. It's got CGI landscapes, CGI mushrooms, puppet mushrooms, mushroom people, scientists, spontaneous combustion prevention pills, try saying that 5 times fast, and explosions. This was just the perfect bad movie to me, and if I find any more, I might make a deep dive video on it like I did with this, or as deep as I can find. But I doubt it, because Fungicide was truly something special. I mean, just look at the poster, you'll know everything about what this movie is about. But yeah, I have no clue why I made this video, and why I haven't been making videos, but I have something very interesting planned for January of next year. So, to the 0 people watching this, don't get excited, because you'll forget by then. Thanks for watching this video on Fungicide, and I'm gonna go watch some more of these. Maybe even Suburban Sasquatch. Goodbye.